What's better than a Christmas quilt?
A shiny Christmas quilt.
We have the perfect fabrics to light up your Christmas season. Keep watching.
Hi, it's Donna Robertson.
And Fran Morgan with Fabric Cafe.
You know, Christmas always makes me think about lights. We plug ours in and they stay on the whole time until after Christmas.
It's my favorite part, but you know, it's really hard to add those strings of lights to your quilts.
Well, we decided that we would just give you a little glitz and glamour on the fabrics that we're showing you today. So let's get started.
That's perfect.
Now the first one is Curio, and this one is so sweet, and of course we've used a little snowball here, so that also has that little element of winter in our lives. But let's put it on the table and we'll let you see where all the shimmer is on this and how easy this one is to make. Now Fran, I love this pattern. Yeah. When you designed this pattern, I thought I can see how this just frames this fabric. So yes, any fabric you put in this quilt is just going to be the star of the show.
It is. It really is.
And I love the way all of these fabrics have a little bit of metallic. There's the little bit of metallic in and around the flowers. There's also the dots of the metallic. Yes. It's really, really nice. And then we also have the third fabric with a little bit of metallic kind of scraped through it.
It is. It's just gorgeous. And I love this fabric too because it kind of looks like, you know how a light shines and it has this like glow around it?
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a really good point. So this is going to be our #1 fabric. And as you know, we always encourage you to put the largest print or the focal print in the quilt where we said #1 because that's what we intended when we designed the patterns, is that your focal. And then we ask you to compare #2 and 3 so that you can put the light in the background, and that's your #2, and that will cause the whole design to kind of pop. And this one is the #3. It's the darkest of the two remaining, and it has a little bit of gold in it as well. It's so kind of like well, it's a grunge, so therefore it's sort of a scraped look.
Yes,
to
it is a great texture to go with this. You know, we always like to say we like our solids sometimes, but we don't want to be boring. So these are great ones to add that little touch of texture.
And I'm so glad because when I first started quilting, it seemed like we had a lot of solids with no interest to them. Yes. And I love the fact that now we have interest in all three positions. It really makes a much more interesting quilt.
And I really love this fabric too because even though it says holiday, it doesn't just say specific holiday, so it's one that can stay out all winter long, which I think is great. And you know, we have yardage of this available online.
Oh.
So if you want to make some extra throw pillows or something for your sofa or your bed, or make it a little bigger border or something, we have those available at fabriccafe.com. Just hit that fabric tab.
Awesome. Well, the name of this quilt is Winter Holiday, and the kit number is 8023260. It's Curio pattern from the Make It Modern book, and an alternate pattern would be Snowball.
Now this quilt is enchanting, and this is a great one because we have a really nice size block here that is bordered beautifully with a little glimmer, a little jewel right here in the corner, and we have some really fun sparkly holiday fabric. So let's check it out. Okay, you know, this is such a great fabric, and it is a really traditional icon to have nutcrackers in your house.
It is.
And this is so great. I know that I have a few that I sit around at the holiday season too, so this is perfect. And these little guys have great metallic outlines on them. And it is a toss fabric, so it's going to work in lots of different holiday projects for you. But it's perfect for this pattern.
It sure is. Boy, that's really going to show off the nutcrackers.
It is. Nice big block, and they'll go everywhere you see the orange here. And then we have a great red and green to border it. So look at our #2. Look at this green.
Oh my goodness.
It is so pretty. Lots of metallic on this one. So, so pretty.
It looks like everything that's printed has a little gold to it.
It does. It just really shines. I wish you could see it from our perspective because it really shines. So it's just gorgeous. Now that is going to go everywhere the white is here, and you can see that it picks up all the greens in your nutcrackers as well. And then we have a red that is just burst of confetti gold, which is wonderful. So it's going to go everywhere the black is here, of course on the border as well. And it just is going to frame, between the red and the green, is going to frame these nutcrackers beautifully.
Oh, we need
love
an image to show them how gorgeous this is going to be.
Ta-da! We've got one. We have a great image on the screen for you so you can see how this comes together and how well those fabrics work together. I really think it highlights those nutcrackers beautifully and just absolutely love it.
I
Just
think
so,
it's
so
perfect.
pretty.
I couldn't wait to show the image.
We love our images. We get so excited whenever they turn out so well. So the kit information on this one, the number is 8023261. It is called Nutcracker Waltz. The pattern is Enchanting from the Magic of 3-Yard Quilts, and our alternate that we're suggesting is Town Square.
Now, this quilt is called Byzantine Door, and when I originally designed it, it has a huge block in it. It's one of the biggest blocks that we have in any of our patterns, and it was actually inspired by a door that's in a chapel over in Italy, and my husband suggested it. It had 12 panels on that door, and so I created a panel like that door so that we could put the 12 blocks in there. And let's look and see what we have to make this quilt. Now, that Byzantine door that I was talking about has the 12 panels. Each panel had a carving of one of the disciples.
Oh, interesting.
So it's kind of interesting. You can look that up on the internet to see about the Byzantine door. But what we're going to do is we're going to put the Cardinals, which is our #1 fabric, and everywhere you see the red, that's going to be where the cardinal is. And look how these leaves are outlined in gold.
So pretty, so pretty. And all the holly, everything, the birds, so pretty.
Right.
So pretty.
And you know, the cardinals in the winter, whenever they show up and there's a snowy look behind, it is just so magnificent.
Yes.
And so that's going to be everywhere in the red. And look at this #2. You can truly envision this in that #2 spot.
Yes.
It is the perfect counterbalance with this. It's just going to give you a real strong Christmas quilt
oh my goodness.
that is just going to be a showpiece.
Yes, and you know, this is very interesting because the entire print of this fabric is made with gold. There is no other color on this whatsoever. It's just the cream with all of the metallic that really shines and highlights the gold from your cardinals.
This is going to be a magnificent quilt.
It is. It absolutely is.
Now, the #3, I thought this was cool because, you know, you go back to that door, the Byzantine door. It's a wood grain, and it's probably pretty worn after all of these years.
Yes.
So this has that kind of a look, and it is going to be gorgeous. It's going to be here on the borders, and also in the sashing in between the blocks.
And it has just that little bit of metallic spread in there, which is perfect.
This is a gorgeous quilt.
It
Boy.
really, really is.
I like that a lot. Okay, this one is called Festive Cardinals. It's 8023262. It's the Byzantine Door pattern from the Quick and Easy 3-Yard Quilt book. And it's available in the book or as an individual pattern.
Now, this is one of my favorite Christmas quilts. Mom designed this, and it has a tree done in alternate fabrics. It's so cute, and it's called Christmas Forest, which of course it's called Christmas Forest because we have a whole forest of Christmas trees here. So let's put it on the table and check out that fabric. Okay, this is such gorgeous fabric. Now we're kind of going like snowy forest, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gorgeous. And you know, that's kind of the way I think of it. Whenever it snowed the last time here, I don't know, it's been 2 years.
It's been forever.
But when it snowed, Bob and I got all bundled up, and we live out in the woods, and so we were able to trek through the woods, and it kind of has that feeling of kind of gray because everything is very monochromatic.
A gray glisten.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. Now, this is interesting because a lot of the fabrics that we've shown you so far has a gold metallic on it, but this one has a silver metallic on it, which gives you that snowy gold look. So this is gorgeous. Our focus fabric, these large, beautiful prints here with our Paisleys. It is going to go everywhere the red trees are. And then we have just a little bit in the alternate tree in the trunk here and on the border. And then our #2 as our background, which is perfect, is our snow. And this is so pretty, so pretty with all the grays and the silvers in this. And it's going to go in the background where you see the white here. And then our #3, wow, isn't that not great together? So this is going to go everywhere you see one of the blue trees, and of course in all the little blue trunks here and on the border. And these coordinate so well. You know, it's kind of that monochromatic look. Of course, it's monochromatic, but the silver just gives it that punch that it needs, which is just
And
so
I love the fact
great.
that you're getting the contrast, even though they're the same color, you're getting the contrast with the size of the print.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's going to give you a lot of that because your eye will pick up the details automatically.
It's perfect. So let's look at an image on that so you can see how incredibly fantastic that looks. This is truly a snowy forest, I think, and it is really great. I love the blue and white quilts. It's just so much fun, and this tree is just perfect for that.
And I have to say, I have never seen Christmas forest done in any fabric that wasn't great.
I have to agree with you.
It's just perfect.
Yeah, and this is a fun one too because it's made with half rectangles.
I know, and if you've never made a half rectangle, then you need to check out our video because we have a great tutorial that tells you step by step how to make them. Don't be intimidated. They are not that hard.
No, they are not. They're really a lot of fun, and you can do some great quilts with them. All right, let's get the kit information for this one. It is called Paisley Winter, and the number is 8023263, and the pattern is Christmas Forest.
Now this one's called Time Machine, and I really like the way this one turned out. It is kind of has that little trick block in there that gives you the look. So let's put this on the table and we'll talk about that. Now I said that it has a trick block, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about because we have pieces and parts.
Oh, good.
And one thing that some people are like, they're afraid whenever they have a whole lot of pieces and they're not real experienced. But I want you to know that right after we introduced this quilt, a 13-year-old girl made this quilt, put it in the county fair, and won first place.
Oh my goodness.
We were
that's
just
great.
like, wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so when you're making one of our quilts, we always give you lots and lots of diagrams to explain to you how the thing goes together. And you can see that we have a very simple diagram here because this is so easy to put together. So let me show you how easy that is. So first of all, you're going to do what we always say. Let me have that one back.
Oh, yeah.
We always say that the best and easiest block is a da-da. I mean, oh my gosh, you can't get much simpler than a square.
Yes.
So this whole quilt has these wonderful little squares in here. So see?
Yep, there's not much simpler than that.
So right there, I would ask you all, if you think you can do that block, raise your hand. But instead, we're going to go ahead and build the next block. So this is the second block here. And this block is done with half square triangles. Super simple. You make 4 half square triangles. You're going to sew these together. And then these are going to be, they're going to be sewn together one way, and then you sew them together that way. And we do still have our seam allowances on here, so it's a little bit bigger than the background. And we have one of these that's already made up. And if Fran will hand me the cropping tool, we will show you. What's really cool about this is by putting these together like this, you actually create the look of a secondary block.
Yes, it's tricking me a little bit. So,
well, we're going to put this all together so that you can see here, and you can see here how that goes together. And what happens is these points kind of, you can kind of see them, and it looks like they're over here, where these points look like they're adjacent to this.
I get it. So now this line is going to like create another box around that. I get it. That is
Isn't
so
that
cool.
Well, let's just make it really simple and show them an image.
Okay, do we want to show them these fabric placements?
We do want to show them the fabric. I got so excited about the block.
just wait, the image is coming.
So this is the number 1 fabric, and it's going to go in this position right here.
This is so cute.
I know, I love it.
So cute.
And it's tossed, so it will go in any one of these squares, super easy. You don't have to worry about direction.
Perfect.
And then you've got your number 2. And when you pick your number 2, remember, you're going to just compare the 2, and you get to choose. You can kind of squint to look and say the lightest one is number 2, and the darkest one is number 3. So the number 2 in this case, we chose this as the number 2 position, and we chose this as the number 3 position, which is here. So hand me the cropping tool again, just real quick. I want to show them that secondary block, because it is just a little bit of a surprise. That's what it looks like the block is.
Yeah, it really is a surprise. I mean, you saw that it even tricked me, so I think it's such a great quilt because it has that secondary design.
Okay,
which is
let's
awesome.
have the drum roll and the image on the screen. This is just so cute. And you can see how that secondary block just pops off of the quilt.
It is
and
so cute.
It actually looks like you worked a whole lot harder than you really did.
Yeah, I love those kinds of quilts.
Oh yeah, they're the best. Okay, this one is called Jolly Good, and it's 8023264, and it's called Time Machine Pattern. It's from the book Easy Does It. It fits.
Yes.
And an alternate pattern could be pinwheel +1.
All right, our next sparkly quilt is Garland, and this one is so much fun because we have these pinwheels here that are connected by a rail fence here, and it just creates this great vertical line, almost like a garland on a tree or over a window. So let's put it on the table and check out this fabric. Okay, now we have a great fabric for you, and we've got this red with the silver words joy all over it. And you know, I think one of my favorite things to do at Christmas time is to have a quilt with words that remind us how to be during the season.
Oh, I like that too.
Uplifts us, and this is great because joy, I mean, that's what it's all about. Joy and family and sharing and
giving.
This is so much fun. So we have our red with our silver joy, that sparkly joy, and that is going to go everywhere you see the red on this Garland quilt, the pinwheels, and on the rail fence here. And then we have a nice white for a good pop, and I love that too.
Crisp.
It's very crisp, and this is going to go everywhere the cream is on this one, and the pinwheels and the rail fence. Now this is a nice white, and sometimes it doesn't always show up on camera very often, but this actually has Christmas bells on it, which is really perfect for this.
Oh, fun.
So it's very, very fun. And then we have a nice black with a silver scribble that looks like tinsel. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And I love it because it's going to give you a really great pop around your pinwheel here and on the center of your rail fence block here, which is really great because these are both silver and it's going to unite it. I think it's great.
Oh, the contrast is going to be gorgeous.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but you know, the tinsel, the silver tinsel has really gotten popular again at Christmas.
Oh.
And it's just so interesting because I remember as a little girl, you know, one little piece at a time, one little piece at a time, and then it was a mistake if you did a whole handful and globbed it on there. It didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't look
and
so
then
pretty.
After you very carefully put one piece at a time, it was all over the house.
Oh my goodness, yes. That's true.
The things we remember.
You know, this won't come off the quilt. It's perfect. So this is the kind of tinsel you want to do. So this is a really fun kit, very chic. It is called Ode to Joy, and the number is 8023265. It is the Garland pattern from Make It Christmas, and the alternate pattern that we're suggesting is Puzzle Me This.
This one is called Fireside, and that's where I like to be in the wintertime, is by the fire. And I love this one. Fran created it, and we all were talking about what a great design it is. So let's put it on the table. Okay, we've got another gorgeous fabric that is going to look fantastic in this quilt. And I remember whenever, and we've mentioned this multiple times, but one of the hardest parts of designing is naming the pattern whenever you get through. And when you have as many babies as we've had, we're
So
getting that
true.
thesaurus out. But this one was fun because Fran said, the first thing I thought was, this looks like a brick.
Yep.
And then you start looking at it and you say, this is perfect
Yes.
to consider that fireside. So
Fireside.
I loved it. So we're going to put these gorgeous poinsettias and the Christmas balls. I love them. They are really fancy.
Yes, and that gold just really gives it a nice little
It
shimmer.
even has the little gold ribbons. Look at that. Those are so
You know,
pretty.
these fabrics, sometimes you look at them, and the more you look at them, the more you see, and they're so interesting.
And you know, whenever, okay, I'm always talking about, you know, like as if it was truly ancient. It was really like It
Not
feels
that
like
long.
yesterday. But when I first started quilting, you didn't want fabric that had any kind of glittery stuff on it because it would come off on your sewing machine.
Oh.
And they have perfected it now.
Yes.
It's another
Yes.
ink or another dye that they are able to put on there that stays put.
And it's not thick, and it drapes well, and the metallics are just gorgeous. I'm so grateful that they've done that.
Oh, me too, because I really didn't like doing it whenever I first started. I kind of avoided it, but whenever I got introduced to this, so if you've not tried it, you ought to, because it is fun and beautiful when you
Yes.
get through.
Very.
Okay, number one fabric is right here, and this is very similar fabric to what's in this quilt. So we want to point that out to you, that it is so very, very similar. This is the same as this. And then we changed the number 2 because that happens to us. We do have limited quantities, and when we ran out of our 2 and 3, we just found good substitutes. So you can see that this quilt and this is going to look very similar.
Very nice.
So we've got our number 2 here. We've got our number 3. It's going to be your border, and it's also going to be the sashing around your brick.
It's going to be
And it's a beautiful brick red.
It definitely is, definitely. So, so pretty. Now, as you mentioned, we do have limited quantities on these. So if you're looking to add a little shimmer this year at Christmas in your quilting, be sure to get over to the website quickly because they'll go fast.
They will. All of our Christmas kits usually go really fast because we like the fabric so much. Okay, so this one's called Poinsettia Flourish 8023266. It's the Fireside pattern from Make It Christmas, and an alternate pattern that you could use is Picture Perfect. So this has kind of put me in the mood for Christmas.
Oh, yes, me too.
And you know, Christmas has changed through the years. I remember whenever I was a child, my mother and daddy, I don't know how in the world they would do it, but they would make us go to bed. It felt like 3 in the afternoon, but it was probably the instant it got dark, about 5:30 or 6 o'clock.
Yep.
And somehow they transformed the living room to a winter wonderland.
Oh,
They
wow.
put up the tree, they decorated it, all the gifts went under the tree. And we were trying to wait up. I remember being little and trying to wait up, waiting for Santa to come. And so I could see, but I would always fall asleep. And then when I would wake up, probably at 3 in the morning, I remember coming around the corner and seeing that. Oh, it was just such a wonderful memory.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
And now today, I usually spend 2 or 3 weeks decorating for Christmas, just getting it all perfected so it just looks like a Christmas wonderland, and I just love it. It's so much fun to do.
So do you have any nostalgia memories and
Yeah.
joys and thoughts about Christmas? I wish you'd share them with us in the comment section.
Yeah, well, this has been lots of fun, and I just love Christmas. Can't wait till it gets here. Gorgeous fabrics, so be sure and go check them out. It's Fran Morgan.
And Donna Robertson, thanks for watching.